All right, what is going on, you beautiful, beautiful people? Welcome to the experience. Welcome to the journey. I am so glad that you guys are here. This is a free session that we are having to cover one of the tiny, tiny, complicated poems in your syllabus, and that is none other than Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree. We're going to have this free seminar series until the exam. We're going to cover many of your poems. We're going to cover 19 of the 20 poems in your syllabus through this free Friday seminar series. I'm super excited because you guys know that we are going to have a blast of a session, all right? This is going to be an energy packed, super focused, exam oriented session, and I'm so proud that you guys are here. A lot of English medium students are nowadays, right? You guys want good teachers. You guys want qualified teachers and teachers who are capable of setting the bar high up, right? Teachers who are hardworking, dedicated, qualified, teachers who can actually speak in English, right? How about that? So, English medium students in Sri Lanka nowadays deserve the best. This is the beginning of a revolution. Welcome to the revolution. Speaking of revolution, we're gonna send this printed workbook. All right, now this is my work. You know who this guy is. You know who this is. All right, it's me. All right, I'm gonna send you this workbook for free, but not for everybody. Only for 5 people. We're gonna send this workbook for free. I'll drop you a contact number. Please drop a message to it. We'll choose 5 students, and give me a second. I'll drop you guys a contact number, 779639434. Drop a message to this contact number. 5 students will get this tutorial. Not this tutorial, this is a workbook, okay? Absolutely high quality. You have a lot of model questions from your syllabus in this workbook. This is the only English literature workbook in Sri Lanka for your syllabus. There's more. There are more printed tutorials. We have a printed tutorial for the window of sweets, right? It's in colored, by the way, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, my class students get these for free, okay? If you join my classes, then these are free. We have the lumber room, by the way, also in colored, also free. The Lahore attack, you can't forget. We have the Lahore attack, also free. And then you can't forget, we have To the Evening Star in colored, also free. If you were looking for the best literature class in Sri Lanka for O levels, you have it. So I'm doing a lengthy seminar series, okay? This is the first of a 19-episode seminar series. Yes, next week we're going to have a seminar. The week after that we will have a seminar. The week after that we will have a seminar. And the week after that and that. So basically we're going to cover the 19 out of the 20 poems in this seminar series. If you guys have friends who are looking for online or physical, okay, can be physical as well. If you have friends who are looking for online literature classes and you guys want to learn from the best, you guys want to learn from a qualified teacher, you guys want to learn from an examiner, right? Now, I am a registered UK examiner. That's why my teaching is so much exam focused. My teaching is really exam focused because my students know this. I'm actually a UK qualified examiner. as well. It's mentioned in the tweet as well. I think it's mentioned somewhere here. I don't know. Somewhere in this, it's mentioned. My history is there in this. So if you guys want this, you can drop me a message. 5 lucky winners today will get this absolutely free. Okay, absolutely free. It's worth like 1,000 rupees, I think. It's worth 1,000 rupees, but we'll send this for free, but for 5 people. Speaking of absolutely free, what else is free? Today's lesson, baby. What is today's lesson? Do you guys remember? It is farewell to barn and stack and tree. Farewell to barn and stack and tree is the lesson that we are going to be learning today. We are gonna slam the entire poem. We are going to cover the entire poem today. You're here, Sadinsa. Oh my God, give me a second. Let me make you the co-host. We also have, you saw my workbook, Sadinsa. I have a bloody workbook, okay? So we're going to publish this in like Sarasavi, Godage. We're working on publishing this workbook as well. Isn't that exciting, Sadinsa? So, all right. I hope that you're doing good as well. Everybody say hi to Sadinsa. She's not going to talk now, but she is my assistant teacher. She's my someone, okay? Sadinsa, all right. So thank you for joining, by the way. Pin the way. All right. So yeah, we're working. We're gonna publish this in a bookshops in like Sarasavi, Godage. We have Samudra. You guys know, right? There are bookshops, like famous bookshop chains. This is coming soon. But right now, we're going to talk about farewell to barn and stack and tree. I have a valuable presentation ready for you today. This is absolutely free. My presentations are absolutely free. Why do I do free classes? I want you guys to win. I want our Sri Lankan students to win, right? Don't you guys agree? Sri Lankan students are highly capable, right? Sri Lankan English medium students are highly capable, but they don't have resources, unfortunately, right? We want to change that. We want to give you guys the absolute best. And that is why this presentation is free. And don't forget, printed tutorials will also send you for free, okay? You guys, like I said, a few students in this class, in this session, will get free printed tutorials. You guys know, right? We have colored printed tutorials. All right. So some of you have already sent me messages. We're going to select 5 students and send you the workbook. This workbook we're going to send for 5 students. Sometimes we might send you, if we can't send you this workbook, we'll send you another printed tutorial because we don't want to hurt your feelings. How right? We'll send you another printed tutorial like this. Right? If we can't send you the workbook, we'll send you this printed tutorial. This is for to the evening star, study friendly. Exam ready. Speaking of exam ready, yes, Aisha, please send me a message, Aisha, to get the workbook, Aisha. All right. I don't know which Aisha you are, Aisha. There are so many Aishas, Aisha, in my class. All right. Are you the Eduzona, Aisha? I divorced Eduzona, Aisha. Oh my God. I divorced Eduzona, Aisha. Very difficult to work with Hilmi sir, man. It's very difficult to work with that. I love him. I love Hilmi sir. Very difficult to work with that bugger, man. I have a lot of love for Hilmi sir. I love him like a brother, but he's an idiot. So I divorced Hilmi sir, okay? I'm still working with Eduzone, but it's not my priority. Who is my priority? My priority is my students. My students are my priority. Paying free doesn't matter. I want all of you guys to get A's. I want you guys to get, this is our new symbol, okay? Aisha, this is Javed. This is our new symbol. A's. All right, A's. What do we want? A's. All right, this is our new symbol. Sadinsa, when you turn on your camera, you have to do this, okay? If not, I'll remove you from the meeting. if you don't do this. So, speaking of doing, let's do. Let's jump on our lesson. We're talking about farewell to barn and stack and tree. Now, this, remember, is a poem under the theme of conflict. Now, there are 5 themes in our subject under the poetry part. Now, you guys know this is English literature, and under poetry, we have 5 themes. What do you mean by a theme? Unfortunately, Sadinsa is not available now, so she can't unmute her mic and talk with me. But a theme is an exam idea. What is a theme? A theme is an exam idea. That means if you want marks in the exam, you have to understand the themes. Now, there are 20 poems. I told you we are going to complete the 19 out of these 20 poems. 19 out of these 20 poems we are going to cover in this seminar series. Every week, we're going to cover a poem. Every week, we're going to cover a poem. Kavalapadavanam. Every week, we're going to cover a poem. There are 5 themes under the poetry section. They are schooling. What is schooling? SCHLN. Schooling. Right? Schooling. Yes, Aisha. Join Isaac, Aisha. Forget about it. You zone man. Join Isaac. Free and all. Join free for this month, Aisha. Join free this month. Use last month's Hilmi sir's receipt in Isaac. Join free this month. So we have schooling, SCHLN, divorce edu zone bang. Divorce edu zone. Very difficult to work with that bugger. Schooling are the 5 themes. Now, these themes fall under the poetry genre, the poetry category. S stands for society. C stands for conflicts. I'll give you conflicts. Conflict. C stands for conflict. H stands for humor. Humor. L stands for life. And N stands for nature. N stands for nature. And these are the 5 poetry themes. The poems, and remember, remember, there are 4 poems under one of these, under each of these themes. Each of these themes have 4 poems under it. The poem that we are going to be learning today. What is the poem? Remind your Javed, sir. Use the chat. Farewell to barn and stack and rewrite. Farewell to barn and stack and tree. Also, remember to spell the title properly, okay? Remember to spell the title properly in the exam. If you write farewell to barn, comma, stack and tree, no, you won't get marks. If you don't write the title exactly as it is, Ilma, if you don't write the title exactly as it is, you won't get marks. So you have to write the title, Amina, exactly as it is, right, Rehana? Exactly. And also, if you write farewell with simple F, simple T, you won't get marks. Capital F. You have to capitalize. You have to capitalize certain words. Farewell to barn and stack and tree. This is by A.E. Housman. All right. How do you spell his name? H-O-U-S. Housman. Housman without the E. Okay. There is no E in his name. There is a typing error, a typo in our appreciation book. How is Housman spelt? Housman is spelt without the E. Housman. Housman is his actual name. Housman. Not Housman. Housman. What happened is when A. Housman is one of my students, I'll tell you how he became a Muslim. I'll tell you how. So how do you spell his name? With the E or without the E? A.E. House A. Hey, listen to me. A.E. Housman's name, Mariam, is spelled without this E. A.E. Housman's name is spelled without the E. So what happened is A.E. Housman was my student. And one day after class, he walked to me and he's like, Javed, sir, I'm going to write a poem called Give Me an Idea to Write a Poem. And I'm the person who told A.E. Housman to write Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree. A.E. Housman is actually my student. So while he was writing the poem, I took a blade and I made him Muslim. What did Javed sir do? While A.E. Housman was writing this poem, I went under the desk, I took a blade and I made him Muslim. That is how A.E. Housman became A.E. Housman. Okay? It doesn't matter how you remember the story. It doesn't matter how you remember the story. Spell his name properly, okay? Spell his name. In your textbook, his name is spelled incorrectly. In your textbook, there is a typo. A-E-H-O-U-S man. There is no E. Look carefully. Look carefully. There is no E in his name. If you write Housman with a E, will you be given marks in the exam? Absolutely not. You have to spell his name properly. So remember, who wrote Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree? A.E. Housman, right? If someone asks you who made Housman a Muslim, tell them Javed sir made Housman a Muslim. So we're going to talk about Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree. Also remember that this is a poem under the theme of conflict. This is a poem. Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree is a poem under the theme of conflict. Conflict means some kind of a balai, right? Some kind of a fight. Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree is based on conflict. Conflict. There is a kind of a conflict, a balai, valiak, a fight. So we're gonna talk about what that conflict is. So there are more poems under the theme of conflict, all right? There are more poems under the theme of conflict, but we are going to talk about a Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree. So this poem is a special kind of a poem, all right? This poem, Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree, is a special kind of a poem. It is called a ballad. What is it called? It's called a ballad, Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree. This poem under the theme of conflict is called a ballad in our syllabus. What is a ballad? A ballad is a poem, all right, a narrative or a poem. There is a poem plus a story plus a rhythm. All right. What is a ballad? A ballad is a poem. Plus, there must be a story and there must be a rhythm. It must be rhythmic. If a poem has all of these qualities, it must be a story, it must be rhythmic. If a poem has all of these qualities, that poem is classified as a ballad. All right, now I can prove it to you. I can prove that there is a rhythm. If the poem doesn't have a rhythm, it is not a ballad. So take a look at this. If you go to stanza number 1, all right? If you go to stanza number 1, there is a rhythm, right? There is a rhythm. Farewell to barn and stack and tree. Farewell to sever and show. And there's a rhythm in the poem, right? Farewell to barn and stack and tree. Farewell to sever and show. It's like a marching rhythm. If you carefully study the rhythm of the stanza, you can identify that there is a marching kind of a rhythm. Farewell to barn and stack and tree, farewell to sever and show. Terence, look your last at me, for I come home no more. Do you see that there is a rhythm? And because there is a rhythm, plus there is a story, this poem is classified as a ballad. So this is a special kind of a poem. All right. By the way, there is a small intro section here. Can you guys take a screenshot, please? There is a valuable intro section. Take a screenshot. I will explain why this intro section is important. If you guys can take a small screenshot, this intro section will help you in the exam. In a bit, I will explain why this intro section is so valuable. Take a screenshot. Don't write it down. Take a screenshot, please, okay? All right, all right, all right. Now, this is an intro section. And what do you mean by an intro section? Don't write it down, Amina. Only take a screenshot. You can write this down later. But this intro section will help you in the exam. This intro section here will help you in the exam. I'll explain how, okay? Number one, you can use it to write analyses. All right. You can use this intro section to write analyses, by the way. That means in the exam, if they give you an analysis for farewell to barn and stack and tree, in the exam, if they give you an analysis for farewell to barn and stack and tree, you can use this intro section. So if you like, you can do a small cheating vela. If you like, you can do a poddak vitara cheating vela, and you can memorize this intro section. Don't worry, I'll explain this intro section very meticulously. But if you want, you can memorize this intro section. If you have plans of choosing the theme of conflict in the O-level exam. So when writing an analysis, if you don't know what an analysis is, it is an essay type. An analysis is an essay type answer. So in the O-level exam, you must write 4 analyses, 1 for poetry, 1 for the prose, 1 for the dramas, and another 1 for the novel. So you need this intro section if you plan on writing an analysis for farewell to barn and stack and tree. Number 2, you can learn theory from this intro section. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's like marrying 2 wives in 1 wedding, right? Look how economical. See, Javed sir is teaching you a lot of valuable things today. Learning this intro section is like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's like marrying 2 wives in 1 wedding. So you can use this intro section when writing analyses, and you can also use this intro section to write theory. You can also use this intro section to learn theory. So we'll talk about the application of this intro section. So you don't have to write all of this in the exam by yourself. If you want to do a bit of cheating vela, right? If you want to do a bit of cheating vela, you guys can memorize this intro section and you can use it in the exam. So coming back to the point, okay? Coming back to the point, I will very carefully, meticulously explain this intro section to you. A.E. Housman's, look at how his name is spelt. Is there an E? Does his name have an E-D? No, right? Does his name have a E? Does Housman have an E? No, it doesn't. Housman is spelled without an E, right? Housman is spelled without an E in the exam. If you spell Housman with an E, now if they ask you, okay, name the poet, and you write A, Housman, will you get marks? No, wrong. This is a mistake. Housman doesn't have an E. Cut the E. Make Housman Housman. Make him Muslim by cutting his E. Spell his name properly. Farewell to barn and stack and tree by A.E. Housman Housman without an E. Now, Adiye, in the book, there's a mistake, Aisha. There's a mistake in the book. There's a printing mistake in the book. It is the teacher's job to correct that mistake in the book, in the appreciation book. Now, Aisha is right. In the appreciation book, his name is spelled with an E, but that is a mistake. It is the responsible teacher's job to correct that mistake. So now we're going to take a look at the intro section. A.E. Housman's poetical revelation titled Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree. Look at the spelling, look at and is repeated twice, okay? Not farewell to barn, stack and tree. It is farewell to barn and stack and tree is an emotional ballad. What do you mean by a ballad? A ballad is a rhythmic, it's a rhythmic poem with a story. What is a ballad? It is a traditional poem. It is a traditional poem that narrates a story and it has a rhythm. For a poem to be called a ballad, for a poem to be classified as a ballad, it must be a traditional poem, right? Now, this is what makes the poem a ballad, right? This is what makes the poem a ballad. If you don't know, you can roughly write this down. It must be a traditional poem. It must be a traditional poem. All right. Number one, it must be a traditional poem. Now, tell me, barn, stack, tree. If you look at the title of this poem, are these modern elements? Barn, stack, tree. Are these modern elements? No, right? These are all elements from a traditional community. It must be a traditional poem. In Sinhala, we say sampradayika. In Tamil, we say, what is traditional in Tamil, Amina? In Tamil, we say, I forgot. But traditional, you buggers know what traditional is, right? Someone who does Tamil as a first language, what do you call traditional in Muhid, what do you call traditional in Tamil? Shit, I forgot, man. But in Sinhala, it's called Sampradayika. It must be a traditional poem. It can't be modern, okay? It can't be modern, by the way. Traditional poem, it must have a rhythm. All right? It must have a rhythm. A rhythm. All right? It must have a rhythm. Now, for example, farewell to barn and stack and tree, right? Farewell to barn and stack and tree. Farewell to sever and show. That's a rhythm, right? Ridenava, I'll give you Ridenava. Rhythm, oi. Rhythm means there must be like a marching feeling. Farewell to barn and stack and tree. Farewell to sever and show. So there must be a rhythm. And finally, there must also be a kind of a story. There must be a story. Only then will the poem classify as a ballad. It must be traditional. That means sampradayika, yeah, parambaryam, right? Parambaryam, Hafsa, you're right, in Tamil. It must have a rhythm. It must have a traditional background, right, Amina? It must have a traditional background, and finally, it must have a story. Only then will the poem be classified as a ballad. What is the only ballad in your syllabus? There's only one ballad, even though there are 20 poems in your syllabus. Ayo, there is only one ballad, or ballad. What is that ballad? Ballo, it is. No, ballad, not ballo. Ballad, it is. Farewell to barn and stack and tree. Join Isaac this month, Ashfaq. Use the EduZone receipt in Isaac and join this month, Ashfaq. I'm done working with EduZone, Ashfaq. Bloody waste of time. Join Isaac this month, Ashfaq. All right. Let's Ashfaq EduZone, Ashfaq. All right. Let's Ashfaq EduZone. All right, Ashfaq. Join Isaac this month, okay? Upload your EduZone receipt in Isaac. We'll accept the receipt. We'll accept your receipt, okay? Right, so gonna move forward. So this is a ballad, okay? This is the only ballad in our syllabus. Why is it a ballad? Tell me. Because it is a traditional poem, traditional background. It has a rhythm. Farewell to barn and stack and tree. Farewell to Severn show. Terence, look your last at me, for I come home no more. And then also, there is a story. There is a story in this poem. That is the main reasons why this poem is classified as a ballad. In the exam, will they ask you, what are the qualities of a ballad? No. They won't ask you any of this in the exam. When writing the analysis, you can mention farewell to barn and stack and tree is a ballad. What do you mean by a ballad? A ballad is a traditional narrative. Yes, Ilma? There is a story. Inside the poem, there is a story. And it is also rhythmic. There is also a rhythm. So what do you mean by a ballad? A rhythmic poem with a traditional background. So, emotional ballad that captures the repercussions of impulsive behavior. Now, there is a word called impulsive behavior, and you might ask me, Javed, sir, why are these words difficult? All right. Why are these words difficult? You might ask me. Because this is actual literature, Amina. All right. This is actual literature, right? That means these are points that you will get marks in the exam. Impulsive behavior. Impulsive means doing something without thinking, doing the wrong thing. You are doing something wrong without thinking. That is what impulsive is. Repercussions, now there is a word called repercussions here. Repercussions mean negative effects. Now, you might ask me, sir, these are not in our syllabus, sir. Ayyo, boru kiyanne epa, sir. Do poi solla vaanam, sir. Right? No, it's there. Look. Look at the 2020 Western Province past paper. Hey, look at the 2020 Western Province past paper. Impulsiveness in adolescence can lead to repentance. Look, this is what happens when you learn from an ultra qualified teacher. This is what happens when you learn from an ultra qualified teacher, Zainab. We show you the actual subject. Sometimes your teacher might have told, no, don't use difficult words when writing analyses. Too complicated. Bullshit. This is what real literature is. Literature has already been defined. It is my job to teach you the actual subject. So all of these words that I am teaching you will help you in the exam. All of these words that I am teaching you will help you in the exam. As the title suggests, one more time, repercussions of impulsive behavior. If you are impulsive, there will be negative effects. In Sinhala, we say, hadisi tirana. impulsive, right? Hadisi tirana. If you behave impulsively, there will be negative repercussions. And as the title suggests, the narrator bids farewell to a simple life that is rooted within a farming landscape. The narrator is saying goodbye to his simple life. Hey, the narrator is saying goodbye to his simple life. How do you know that the narrator is actually saying goodbye? It's in the title, right? It's in the title, right? The narrator is actually saying goodbye. It is in the title, right? Farewell. Farewell means goodbye. How do you know that the narrator is living a simple life? How do you know that the narrator is living a simple life? Look at it. Look at the title. Barn, stack, and tree. Are these modern things? Is he saying goodbye to Lamborghini? Is that the poem? Is he saying goodbye to? Is he saying goodbye to Lamborghini? Is he saying goodbye to? All right. Is he saying goodbye to Chanel perfume? No, right. He's saying goodbye to barn. Right. Is he saying goodbye to his Lamborghini? Is he saying goodbye to his Bugatti, right? If he says farewell to Lamborghini, Bugatti, right? Farewell to iPhone, right? Then will his life be a simple life? What do you think? Then will his life be a simple life? Impossible, right? If he says farewell to Lamborghini, farewell to Bugatti, farewell to iPhone, can you call his life a simple life? Never, right? Never. So he says farewell to barn and stack and tree, Baba. He doesn't say farewell to Lamborghini, Bugatti, and Chanel, Gucci, right? He doesn't say farewell to Gucci, all right? He doesn't say farewell to Gucci, Lamborghini, Bugatti. He says farewell to barn and stack and tree. That is proof that he is departing from a simple life. That is proof that he is departing from a simple life. Hey, can you write this in the exam? In the exam, can you write that the narrator is departing from a simple life? Yes. Yes, you can. In the exam, you can say that the narrator reluctantly departs from a simple life. It is in the title. We are now learning literature like lawyers, right? We are now learning literature like lawyers. We are looking at proof. We are proof oriented, right? We are proof oriented, right? Absolutely. Farewell to Louis Vuitton, all right? The narrator does not say farewell to a sophisticated life. He is saying goodbye. He is bidding farewell to a simple life. He is bidding farewell to a simple life. That is the premise of the poem. How do we know for sure? It is in the title, right? Farewell to a simple life that is rooted within a farming landscape. The barn and the stack and the tree, these are rooted. The barn, the stack and the tree, these are all rooted in a simple farming landscape. On top of that, Habsa, on top of that, we learned all of this from the title of the poem. But now it's suspenseful. Now there is suspense. Why is there suspense? Because we don't know why the narrator is departing. He doesn't give us a reason in the beginning. In the beginning of this poem, the narrator doesn't give us a reason. Now, if you're leaving home, now, for example, let's say that you're going to classes, you tell your mama, right, Umma, class ku poitu varen, Javed said, Shaktila class on the Bambal, nothing point of Umma. You tell a reason, right? Your mama, I say, Allah Kaval, okay, go home safely, I'll go safely, all right, come back safely. You give a reason for your departure. But here, the narrator does not give us a reason for his departure. The narrator doesn't tell us why he is leaving. That is what you call suspense. That is what you call suspense. Suspense means we do not know what is happening. Suspense means we don't know what is going on. It's suspenseful. We call this suspenseful, right? The reader is not given the enough information. There is a withholding of information. It's called suspenseful. Why is it suspenseful? Why is there suspense? The reader is not given enough information. There is withholding of information, withholding of information. That means the reader is not told everything. The narrator does not tell us everything. The narrator does not tell us everything. This is why the narrative is suspenseful. This is called a suspenseful narrative. Now, for example, you might have seen movies where there is a murderer, but we don't know who the murderer is. You might have seen movies, all right, and we don't know who the murderer is, right? That is suspenseful. That is suspenseful, right? It's a suspenseful narrative. So we don't know why the narrator is leaving. He says farewell. He says goodbye. He says farewell to his simple life rooted within a what background? Is it a city background or is it a farming background? His simple life is rooted within absolutely Rehana, a farming background. The narrator is saying farewell. We don't know why. In the beginning, right, Ilma? In the beginning, we are not sure why. But the more you dive into the poem, you are given a reason. The more you dive into the poem, you are given a solid reason. So, accordingly, the suspenseful narrative is formatted as a very important confession. What do you mean by a confession? A confession means you are exposing your mistakes. You are telling everything without hiding your mistakes. Confession. You can confess to now let's say that you stole money, okay? Haram. All right, I know you will never do something like that. But let's say you stole money from your mama. The class fees is 2,900. You tell your mama class fees is 3,900. So you have stolen money, right? But then you feel guilty because you are Javed's student and you are a Maharasi, right? You feel guilty. So you confess your crime to your mama. You tell your mama, look, mama, Javed sir's class fees is 2,900 VIP package. I told you it's 3,900. I stole this 1,000 rupees. You're confessing. You are confessing. What do you mean by confessing? Are you hiding your mistakes? No. Confessing means you are exposing your mistakes. Confessing kiyanne, you are exposing your mistakes. So this intro section is patta valuable, okay? Mara valuable, puta. This intro section is mara patta valuable. If you like, you can memorize this and you can use it in the exam. If you like, you can memorize this and use it in the exam. You will get nearly full marks for your analysis. If you write like this, you have the potential to get nearly full marks for your analysis. Confession of the young narrator who, due to undisclosed reasons, has committed a fratricide. Hey, what do you mean by fratricide? Killing a brother. What is the word? It's called fratricide. If you want, you can write it down. Very important. Fratricide. Fratricide means brother killing his brother. Fratricide means killing of a brother. If a brother kills his brother, it is called a fratricide. If a brother kills his brother, it is called a fratricide. So, what's going on, Nada? Hi, Nada. Say hi. Show your mom, Javed sir. Show Javed sir to your mom also. Say hi, Nada's mom. So coming back to the point. Now, what is the name of the brother, Nada? What is the name of this brother? What is the name of the narrator's brother? Those of you who have learned the poem, tell me. His name is Maurice. You can write this down if you like. The name of the brother is Maurice. The narrator has committed a fratricide. Is the narrator hiding this fratricide? Or is the narrator confessing, Ilma? The narrator is confessing, right? It's called confession. The poem is a confession. What kind of a background is this? This is a farming background, right? A simple life, right, Tahira? A simple life rooted within a farming background. Yes, Azra, you can use this intro section when writing essay type questions. 100% exam ready intro section, Azra. You can memorize this and you can use it in the exam without a problem. Rural environment is fine, Tahira, but if you say rural, it's ugly wage. But if you say simple farming life, right, Rehana? If you say simple farming life, it is a lot more valuable. Yes, it is a rural environment, but it's ugly when you say rural. If you say a simple farming life, it's a lot more valuable. So the narrator is about to abscond. The word is abscond. I want to really use that word. Of the narrator who, due to undisclosed reasons, has committed a fratricide. Commendably, Housman has extended this sensitive topic to explicate how conflict among two individuals can ruin a family, and the didactic nature of the narrative has cemented Housman as a pioneer of classical poetry. A very good intro section, by the way. Do you see the word conflict? Conflict. Conflict among two individuals can ruin a family. Conflict is the principal theme, right? Ahmed, take a screenshot. Don't write this down. You guys can only take a screenshot. By the way, yes, Hamza, we have online classes as well. We have our own website. Please drop me a WhatsApp message. It's not 77 963 9434. Drop me a WhatsApp message. We have free PDFs. We also have free printed tutorials. We also have free printed tutorials. We have a valuable workbook, the only workbook for English literature in Sri Lanka. We're giving this for free for 5 students. 5 students can get this for free today. So drop us a WhatsApp message. Other students will get one of these free printed tutorials. We have a printed tutorial for the window of sweets. We have a printed tutorial for the lumber room. Colored, by the way, don't forget. Colored printed tutorial. We have a free printed tutorial for the Lahore attack. Right, we have a free printed tutorial for To the Evening Star. So Hamda, drop me a WhatsApp message. Right, it's not 77 963 9434. We will help you join our online classes. Physical classes, we are starting soon in Shakti, Bambalapitiya. Kandy, we have physical classes. And apart from that, there is a lot of valuable printed tutorials that I want to give you guys for free. Drop us a WhatsApp message. Everybody here will receive at least one printed tutorial. Everybody here will receive for free. Why am I doing this? Because I want my students to get an A, baby. Right? This is our new symbol. I want my students to get an A, baby. We're working for an A for literature. What if we have every tute except the workbook? Hafsa. You can buy the workbook also. Just drop me a WhatsApp message, Hafsa. We'll see. Rizlan, drop me a WhatsApp message, okay? So there are some of my existing students. Right. I think also you're right. You are right. Rizlan, this is the only class in Sri Lanka that gives colored tutorials. You're right. Yes. Why? Because I want my students to get an A, Rizlan. I give colored printed tutorials because I want my students to get an A day. Let's recap what we have learned thus far. Here's a short note. If you like, you can write this short note down. Here is a short note for farewell. Hey, what is the title? It is farewell. What do you mean by farewell? Farewell means good boy. No. Goodbye. Not good boy. Goodbye. Farewell. To barn and stack and tree. We are writing a short note for farewell to barn and stack and tree. This is a ballad, right? This poem is classified as a ballad. What do you mean? Ballad? No, ballad. What do you mean by a ballad? It is a poem, a traditional poem, right? It has a traditional background. You can write this down if you like. It has a traditional background. It has a rhythm. And then there is a narrative. There is a story. There is a story that we can follow. There is a narrator. It's a confession, right? A confession. All right. A confession. What do you mean by confession? Exposing a crime, right? Or a sin. What is a confession? If you expose a crime or a sin, it is called a confession. This narrative, Ilma, absolutely. It is about a confession, and this confession is about a fratricide. A fratricide means a brother killing a brother. The narrator has killed his brother. What is the name of the brother? The narrator has killed his brother. The name of the brother is Maurice. Maurice. Is it a planned murder? No, it was impulsive. What do you mean by impulsive? Impulsive means doing the wrong thing without thinking, right, Ilma? Impulsive means, Hafza, you are doing the wrong thing without killing. How is it? If you kill a brother, it's called fratricide, Hafsa. If you kill a sister, it's called sororicide. But we only care about fratricides, Hafsa. Impulsive means doing the wrong thing without thinking. Avasharam, Shariana Avasharam. Right? Doing the wrong thing without thinking is called impulsive. It is an impulsive decision, by the way. The murder of this brother is an impulsive decision. It is a fratricide, and the narrator has murdered his brother Maurice. What do you mean by impulsive? Impulsive means you are doing the wrong thing without thinking. So let's talk about the short note. So the narrator is about to abscond. The narrator will abscond. 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 Abscond means running away after committing a crime. The narrator is about to abscond. What do you mean by abscond? Running away without committing. You can write this down if you like. Running away after committing a crime. Running away after committing a crime. That is what abscond is. The narrator, Sadinsa, is about to abscond. He's about to run away. Why is he going to abscond? Because he has murdered his brother. The narrator bids farewell. The narrator bids farewell to his home. This home is defined by a simple farming background. The narrator says goodbye to a simple life, surrounded by a farming background. If you did not write this down, you can take a screenshot. All of these ideas can be used in the exam. You can use all of these ideas in the exam without a problem. So, we can move forward. Sadpat Gala, write this down, or you can take a screenshot. Aulakman hai. Amina, you can take a screenshot. Will we get extra marks if we use these heavy words? You will only get marks if you use these words, Amina. These are not heavy words, by the way. These are all in syllabus words. Abscond is my word. Abscond is not there. Abscond I wrote. But all of the other words are necessary. Confession, ballad, impulsive, abscond and fratricide are my words. But the other words, you must use heavy words, Amina. Only then will you get full marks. Think about this, Army, now. Now, your first language is Tamil, right? So, when writing a Tamil katture, if you write in the kavida, pasundana kavide undu, எனக்கு ஆசையா இருக்குது இந்த கவிதையை வாசிக்க, you won't get marks, right, Amina? You have to write sophisticated words, right, Zainab? We'll be done at about 10 o'clock, okay? Sharp 10 o'clock will be done. And remember, next week also we will have another seminar. In that seminar, we're going to cover another poem. If you have any poems that you want to cover, you guys can drop me a WhatsApp message. I promise we will cover 19 of the 20 poems. There are 20 poems in your syllabus. Out of those 20 poems, we will cover 19 in this seminar series. Amina says Richard Corey. Why not? Why not? It can be Richard Corey. If you have any other poems, you can drop me WhatsApp. You can drop me a WhatsApp message. You guys know my number is 779639434. And drop me a WhatsApp message, and I will send you guys any notes, free printed tutorials, and you can also let me know what other lessons you want me to cover. This recording will be on YouTube. It will be on our Lit Master YouTube channel. If you like, you can subscribe to our Lit Master YouTube channel. Let me quickly show you guys. You can go and look for Lit Master YouTube. There we go. This is us. This is us. You can subscribe to our Lit Master YouTube channel, and we will regularly update lessons in this YouTube channel. But now let's jump back into the lesson. Let's jump back. You guys can take a screenshot of this. These are all important ideas that you have to learn to get full marks for farewell to barn and stack and tree. After this, we are going to take a look at the poem, but we have covered all of the theory by now. All right. Let's move forward. Sadin, are you there? It's like, I mean, we're about to end this, by the way, Sadin. Oh my God. You're making my decisions a lot more complicated, Sadin. Let's jump right in. Stanza number 1. We're gonna go to stanza number 1, by the way. I have no idea about the poems except to the evening star, Nada says. And don't worry, Nada, we'll complete all of the poems, okay? We'll complete all of the poems. So we're gonna jump right in, right? So you aren't in a position to talk today, I think, Sadinsa. Maybe Friday is a bit of a busy day for you, I guess. So we are going to take a look at stanza number 1, Satpadgala. All right. Farewell to barn and stack and tree. Farewell to Severan Show. What is Severan Show? It is the location, the place where the narrator lives, the narrator's home. The narrator's home village, right? The narrator's home village. That is what Severan Show is. I can show the short note higher. Please take a screenshot, okay? Please take a screenshot if you can't If you can't write it down, then farewell to barn and stack and tree. Farewell to Severn Show. What is Severn Show? Hiya, Severn Show is the name of this location. Yes, it is in Scotland, I think, Hafsa. Yes, it is a place in Scotland or somewhere. Farewell to Severn Show. Terence, look your last at me, for I come home no more. The narrator is talking to a character called Terence. So we don't know who Terence is, but the narrator is confessing his crime to Terence. The narrator is confessing to Terence. We assume that Terence is the narrator's friend, right? We assume that Terence is the narrator's friend. Terence, look your last at me. Sadin sir, did you go to an Aurdu Utsavayak today? Did you go to the Ananda College Aurdu Utsavaya today? I really have.
No, sir.
Where did you go? There's Aurdu Utsavayak in Ananda College, right, Sadin sir?
Yeah.
Your brother is in the college. Why didn't you go? You stabbed him in the. You
No,
are
they.
like the narrator, Sadinsa. Like he killed his brother. You dumped your brother. Why didn't you go?
So I'm not an Anandian.
Yes, but I mean, didn't he take you? You would have become the Aurudu Kumari, Sadinsa. They would have. That's why you didn't go, right? They would have forcefully made you their Aurudu Kumari. So I live very close to Ananda College, by the way. So I was like, Sadinsa is definitely here. Right. So they would have made her the Urdu Kumari. So your brother also didn't go to the Urdu thing.
No, because he's doing A levels in August. So he's studying.
Okay. So A-level karna hinda Urdu haram, Urdu tahanam, I think. Okay. All right. Good, Sadinsa. Future doctor, right? Sadinsa's brother is a future doctor. If he becomes a psychiatrist, he will definitely, I will be his first patient. If Sadinsa's brother becomes a psychiatrist, I will be his first patient, and mage pissuwata he can give me behet. But Sadinsa is better than this narrator who has murdered his brother. What is the name of the narrator's brother? It is Maurice. The narrator is confessing to Terence, and what does he say? Terence, look your last at me, for I come home no more. There is a technique. You don't have to remember this. It's called inversion. There is a technique called inversion. Inversion or anastrophe. Now, what do you mean by inversion or anastrophe? You are jumbling the words. This is not important, okay? Don't worry about it. Inversion or anastrophe. Anastrophe, we call it. This is not important, but you are jumbling the words. I come home no more. The words of the sentence are jumbled, right? The words of the sentences are all mixed up, but it's not very important. Don't worry. But there is a special technique called inversion, but they won't really care in the exam. It is unnecessary. But for your extra knowledge, you guys can remember inversion, anastrophe it's called. It means you are jumbling the words in a sentence. I come home no more. Now, I told you, Amina, that the narrative, you're jumbling the words. So without saying, you are beautiful, I say, beautiful you are. Without saying, you are beautiful, I say beautiful. Beautiful you are. Without saying you are beautiful, I say beautiful you are. That is inversion. We are jumbling the words in a sentence, but Tahira, it is not very important. Terence is considered to be, yes, the narrator's close friend. Yes. That is why the narrator is confessing the murder, right? Confessing to Terence. This murder is called a fratricide. What do you mean by a fratricide? The narrator has killed his brother. What is the name of the brother? Maurice. What kind of a background, Sadinsa, does the narrator come from? It is a simple background, right? It is a simple life outlined by a farming landscape. So, if you were not at the Aurudu Utsave, Sadinsa, where were you today? Because you were not home, right?
No, I had work, sir.
What work did you have?
So you know it, right?
You were teaching, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, okay. You were like, you say when you know it, what is it? Like illegal? Like the children are going to think that you were doing something illegal. So you were teaching. Oh my God, yes, Adinsa is a teacher. Okay, she's here to teach me also later. Good to have you after a long time, Saditsa. Welcome back to Isaac. The narrative, right, creates suspense. Now there is another technique. It's called suspense. Suspenseful. What do you mean by suspense? You don't know what is going on. You don't know why the narrator is about to abscond, right, Sadinsa? You don't know why the narrator is about to leave. What is Sadinsa teaching? Rizlan has a question. Sadinsa teaches English as well. They'll definitely ask about Sadinsa in the exam, Rizlan. In the O-level exam, they will definitely ask about Miss Sadinsa. Yes. So, very quickly, this is the first stanza, and now it is suspenseful because the reader doesn't know, Hafsa, why. The reader doesn't know why the narrator is about to abscond, about to run away. So we'll go to stanza number 2. Let's take a look at stanza number 2. The sun burns. By the way, there's a note. You guys can download, you can drop me a WhatsApp message, right? You can drop me a WhatsApp message and I will share this PDF with you, and you guys can download this presentation and you can read the notes. But today I am going to explain the stanzas for you. The sun burns on the half-moon hill. The sun is burning, right? What kind of an emotion does the burning sun give you, Sadinsa? May Davaswala, it's so hot, right, Sadinsa? And because you are here, it has become more hot. Because you are here, it's even more hotter. Oh my God. But the sun burning, right? What kind of an emotion does it give you? It makes you feel uncomfortable, especially when you are guilty, right? Yes, Ilmai, when you feel guilty, when you've done something wrong, you sweat, right? Sadinsa munari horavedak, right? You've done something that Ammi or Apache Deda shouldn't know, and you start to feel even hotter, right? So this makes you feel uncomfortable, discomfort. The narrator's discomfort. But tell me, Sadin, so why does the narrator feel discomfort? What has he done? He has murdered his Brother, right? Speaking of brother, what's your brother's name?
He's Dylan.
Dylan. Okay, that doesn't even sound Sinhalese. Oh my god. Okay, that's a very posh sounding name. So your name is Sadinsa Dedunu. What is his name? Dylan what?
Sasindu.
Okay, these are very important children. These are important. They'll definitely ask all of these questions in the exam. Okay, the sun burns, right? Sun burns, or absolutely Ilma. He has committed a murder. The narrator has committed a murder. The sun burns on the half-moon hill. By now, the blood is dried. Oh, where did the blood come from? Right? This is a male narrator. Remember that, okay? These are all dudes. Where did the blood come from? The narrator stabbed Maurice. The narrator has murdered his brother. The sun burns on the half-moon hill. By now, the blood is dried. Whose blood is this? Maurice's blood. And Maurice amongst the hay lies still. Maurice is not moving, right? Why is Maurice not moving, Sadinsa? Is he sleeping? Because it's too hot? No, he's dead, right? Maurice has been murdered. Who murdered Maurice? The narrator. Have you ever wanted to murder your brother, Sadinsa? Definitely, exactly. Exactly. So the narrator has actually murdered his brother, Maurice. What is the murder weapon, by the way? Tell me, my brilliant students. The narrator has suggested the murder weapon. What is the murder weapon? The narrators. The narrators, absolutely, Amina. The narrators, knife. You're right, Hafsa. You have become Fulsa after answering my question. The narrator's knife, Zainab, he has used it and murdered his brother. So we don't know why he murdered his brother. We don't know why he murdered his brother. That is why I told you that the narrative is what? Suspenseful. Suspenseful. That is why I told you that this is a suspenseful narrative, right, Rehana? The sun burns on the half-moon hill. What do you mean by mow? Mow, right, Sadinsa, means cutting the grass, right? Mow means cutting the grass. What do you mean by hoe? Hoe means it is like a shovel wage, right? Like a mammoty. A hoe kiyanne, it's like a mammoty, okay? All right, a hoe is like අර උදැල්ල වගේ තියෙන්නේ ඒකට තමයි hoe කියන්නේ අපි English වලින්. Right? See, Javed's teaching you English, right, Sadinsa? Right? So, Bayanathua, you can use this word, right? Let's say you have a friend, Sadinsa, right? You can tell me the name of one of your school teachers, Sadinsa. Melanie, right? Melanie. Stop being a hoe, Melanie. Let's say there's a teacher called Melanie, your age. Tell her, Melanie, stop being a hoe, Melanie. What is a hoe? A hoe is a udallak. Okay? But there is no hoe in Farewell to Barn and Stack Country. There is a scythe. There is no hoe in Farewell to Barn and Stack Country. The narrator's mum is not here, Sadinsa. The narrator's mum is at home. So there is no hoe in Farewell to Barn and Stack Country. There is a scythe. Scythe. What is a scythe, by the way? It is a farming tool, right? A scythe. A scythe, but it is also a symbol of. The scythe, Sadinsa, is a symbol of SCYTHE. The scythe is a symbol of death, right? The scythe is a symbol of death. We'll talk about this. There is a scythe mentioned in Farewell to Barn and Stack Country. Why? Because this poem is set in a farming background, right? This poem is set in a farming background. Uh, the sun burns on the half-mown hill. By now the blood is dried, and Maurice amongst the hay lies still, and my knife is in his side. It is implied, my genius students, that the narrator has murdered his brother. What is the word for murdering your brother? It's called fratricide. Sadinsa, tell me who has sent you messages thus far. Read their names. Read the names of the people who have sent you messages. All right, read them. I'm kidding. එහෙම කරන්න එපා පව්, right? එහෙම කරන්න එපා පව්. පොඩි ළමයිනේ දන්නේ නැනේ. But then, as always, Sadinsa, කිරි මුහුදට හඳ පෑව වගේ. කිරි මුහුද. හඳෙන් කිරි අරන් මුහුදට පැන්න වගේ ක්ලාස් එකක් මේක. Because you have arrived. Absolutely, Amina, this is a fratricide. The narrator has killed his brother. What is the name of the narrator's brother? Maurice. Maurice amongst the hay lies still, and my knife is in his side. Look at stanza number 3. My mother thinks us long away, 'tis time the field were mown. So what were the narrator and Maurice doing? They were mowing the field, right? They were cutting the grass. They were mowing. Mowing means cutting grass. 'Tis time the fields were mown. This part is patta important. This part in stanza number 3 is patta important. Who is the narrator talking about? A hoe? No, he is talking about his mother. My mother thinks us long away. Who is us? Us is the narrator and Maurice, right, Sadinsa? The narrator and Maurice. My mother thinks us long away. 'Tis time the field were mown. She had 2 sons at rising day. Tonight she'll be alone. I want you guys to focus on this line. She had 2 sons at rising day. She had 2 sons at rising day. In the morning, she had 2 sons, right? The mother had 2 sons. This is the mother, right? Old woman, right? And then, excuse my drawing, I'm a literature teacher, so don't expect me to draw like Picasso. She has 2 sons. She had 2 sons at rising day, right? In the morning, she had 2 sons. Tonight, she'll be alone. What's going to happen to the mother at night? Tonight, she'll be alone. Ayo. Why will the mother be alone tonight? Why is the mother going to be alone tonight? Because one of her sons is Settapochi. Another son is Odipochi, right? One of her sons tonight, Hafsa, the mother will be alone because one son, Hafsa, is Settapochi. The other son is Odipochi. One son has been murdered, right? Murdered. Maurice has been murdered. And the narrator, what will we use for the narrator? The narrator will abscond, right? What do you mean by abscond? Run away after committing a crime. The narrator will abscond He will run away because he has committed a crime. What is this technique called? Sadin sir, do you know what this technique is called? Now, there is the morning and the night. In the morning, the narrator's mother had two sons, and at the night, she will be alone. What do you call this technique? It's called. You have to unmute your mic, though, Asadin sir.
It's juxtaposition.
It's like juxtaposition. I love it. You're right. It's called juxtaposition. Juxtaposition, Kianne. You take two opposite, yes, Rizlan, take two opposite ideas and you show how different they are, right? Sadinsa, have you used Fair and Lovely? You don't need Fair and Lovely, right? You're already lovely. And Fair is also there. Fair is also there, right? But in Fair and Lovely advertisements, have you seen before using Fair and Lovely, Katai, Kalui, right? Appiriyai, after using Fair and Lovely, Suddiyak, actress, model. That is an example for juxtaposition. You take two opposite things and you contrast them. The technique is called juxtaposition. Juxtaposition, by the way. What did you teach today, Sadinsa? We would like to know. In your class, what did you teach today?
Just did
What was?
Just did exercises. Actually, it's on the board, so they have to copy, and I just marked it. So.
Exercises are exercises grammar exercises. What was the grammar unit, Sadinsa? Tenses, reported speech, active and passive.
I correct mistakes, something like that.
You corrected what?
No, the correct the mistakes exercises.
Oh, correct the mistakes. Of course. My life is a mistake, Sadinsa, so please correct me. This is a technique called juxtaposition, Amina. Juxtaposition. What do you mean by juxtaposition? You take two opposite scenarios and you show how different they are. Hafsa says, Ane, don't make her uncomfortable, sir. My God, I would never even think of making Sadinsa uncomfortable. Sadinsa is making me uncomfortable, to be honest, Hafsa. But now Sadinsa told you the technique is juxtaposition, right? What do you mean by juxtaposition? You take two opposite things and you show how different they are. So in the morning, the mother Zidane had two sons. And then at night she will be alone. This is patta valuable. She had two sons at rising day. Tonight she'll be alone. Why will she be alone tonight? One of her sons is Settapochi. The other son is Odipochi. One son is dead. The other son, what's the word Sadinsa? It's called abs. Abscond, right? Abscond. What do you mean by abscond? Abscond means running away after you have committed a crime. The narrator, who is Maurice's brother, will abscond. Let's go to stanza number 4, okay? And there are more notes. Please download this presentation and go through the notes when you are free. But here are some examples for juxtaposition, Sadinsa. In Richard Corey, rich versus poor. That is an example for juxtaposition, right? Rich versus poor. In the lumber room, adulthood versus childhood, right? Adulthood versus childhood. That is an example for juxtaposition. The vendor of sweets, hands up if the vendor of sweets is your novel. Look at this. I have a tune for the vendor of sweets, by the way, baby. Oh yeah. Have a tune in colored. It's in colored, by the way. Oh yeah. It's in colored, by the way, for the vendor of sweets. So in the vendor of sweets, Jagan versus Mali, traditionalism versus modernity, Hafsa. Right, Rehana? These are good examples for juxtaposition. There are many examples in our syllabus for juxtaposition. What do you mean by juxtaposition? It is the contrasting technique. Absolutely, Hikma. The seminar recording will be available in our YouTube channel. Sadinsa, you won't be in it, don't worry, okay? Sadinsa is like, what the hell? You won't be visible in it, I'm very sure. It's going to be the presentation you see, right? The presentation will be visible, by the way. Don't worry, Sadinsa. All right, we'll keep you safe. I'll keep you safe. So coming back to the point, we are learning the poem Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree. And what kind of a background is this poem from? It's from a farming background, right, Najma? It's from a farming background. The barn, the stack, and the tree. It outlines a simple life. It outlines a simple life rooted within a farming background. So in this stanza, stanza number 4 and stanza number 5, the narrator talks about the farming background that he is from. Now, does he hate his background, Sadinsa, or does he love this? Is he attached to this farming background, Sadinsa? Does he hate this farming background, or is he attached? Does he love this farming background?
He loves it, right?
Exactly, he loves it, definitely, right? Yes, he's attached to this farming background. Then why is he running away, Sadinsa? If he loves this farming background, why is he running away? Because he has murdered his brother, right, Amina? He has murdered his brother and therefore he will abscond. No, not attempted murder, Hafsa. He has committed a murder, not attempted murder, right? Rehana, he has committed a murder. We called it a fratricide. What do you mean by a fratricide? A fratricide is a brother killing a brother. The narrator murdered his brother Maurice, and that is why the narrator is running away, absconding. And here's a bloody hand to shake. A bloody hand is a symbol here, Amina. It's symbolic. What does the bloody hand symbolize? Hand of a innocent person, Sadinsa, or hands of a murderer? What does the bloody hand symbolize? You know this, right, Sadinsa? The bloody hands symbolize a hand of a murderer, right? The narrator, absolutely, Rehana, the narrator has murdered his brother, Amina. The bloody hands symbolize murder, and here's a bloody hand to shake. And oh man, here's goodbye. Why does he say, oh man? Is he calling his man? Oh man. Is he calling his man here? No. He's expressing frustration. Oh man, ayo. Right? It's a expression of frustration. And oh man, here's goodbye. Right, Hamda? Oh man, here's goodbye. All right. Will sweat no more on scythe and rake my bloody hands and I, Hafsa. What does his bloody hands symbolize? They symbolize the hands of a murderer. The bloody hands symbolize the hands of a murderer, by the way. There's repetition as well, right? The bloody hands have been repeated, repetition. Is the narrator proud of his bloody hands? Or is the narrator cursing his bloody hands? The narrator is cursing his bloody hands, right? Because it is his hands that has taken the life of his brother. He's cursing his bloody hands. He says, "Will sweat no more on scythe and rake." The scythe and the rake are farming equipment. But the scythe, what does the scythe symbolize? The scythe symbolizes death, right? The scythe symbolizes death. Will sweat no more on scythe and rake my bloody hands and I. You have to memorize the poem. If you memorize the poem, the theory becomes very easy. And here's a bloody hand to shake. So he says this sarcastically, right? Why does he want to shake the hands? He's saying goodbye, right? When saying goodbye, you shake hands, right? Sadinsa, don't you? You shake hands, right? When you say goodbye. So here, the narrator is sarcastically saying, "Shake my bloody hand," right? I'm saying goodbye, shake my bloody hand, but then the bloody hand symbolizes murder. No, there is no personification. Personification means giving qualities to an unhuman. Here, Rehana, there is no personification. Bloody hands is symbolic, symbolizes that the narrator has committed a murder, right? The narrator's bloody hands symbolize that he has committed a murder. And here's a bloody hand to shake. And oh man, here's goodbye. When you say goodbye, when you depart, you shake hands. But the narrator says that his hands are bloody. They symbolize his murder, they symbolize his guilt. Will sweat no more on scythe and rake. Yes, it is violent. The murder is violent, Amina. What is the theme of this poem? Please tell me. This poem falls under the theme of conflict. The poem falls under the theme of conflict. Conflict is violent, right? If you think about it, conflict is naturally violent, right? Many forms of conflict is violent, right, Hafsa? And here's a bloody hand to shake, and oh man, here's goodbye. Will sweat no more on scythe and rake my bloody hands and I. The narrator is cursing his hands. He feels guilty. His hands, his bloody hands, symbolizes that he is a murderer. We'll go to the next stanza. And there is a festival called the Lamastide. The Lamastide is a farming festival, a harvesting festival. Nowadays, our beloved Sinhalese people, right? Right, Sadin, so you know Javed loves Sinhalese people, right? Even though I'm Muslim, I am not at all racist, right? I love Sinhalese people. All right, Sadin, sir. So, Sinhalese people these days are celebrating a harvesting festival. Hafsa, right? What is that harvesting festival? It's called the Sinhala and Sadin, sir. The Sinhala and Co-Muslim. No, Sadin, sir. Now it's called the Sinhala and Tamil and Muslim New Year, okay? It's an update. This is an update, okay? Don't be racist. It's called the Sinhala and Tamil and Muslim New Year. So this Sinhala and Tamil and Muslim New Year, right, Zidane, it is a harvesting festival. Lamastide is also a harvesting festival. Now, can the narrator take part in Lamastide? What is Lamastide? Lamastide is a harvesting festival. Lamastide is a harvesting festival. Can the narrator take part in Lamastide? Oh, it's a European harvesting festival, by the way, okay? It is a European harvesting festival. You're right, Hafsa. The narrator cannot take part in the Lamastide harvesting festival. Why? Because he has murdered his brother, right? He has to abscond. I hope everybody here knows what abscond is. Abscond means you are running away after you have committed a crime. The narrator is about to abscond, so he can't celebrate Lamastide, right? So why has a teacher joined your class? Why not, Rizlan? Why not? Because I want to, right, Sadinsa? Because I bloody want to, Rizlan. So she's here for emotional support. Javed says energetic, emotional support. Sadinsa is here, Islan. Did you notice after Sadinsa joined, my energy doubled? So that is the reason why Sadinsa is here. She's here for moral and emotional support. But she is an English teacher, by the way, okay, Rizlan? So if you want to learn English, you know who to call. So the narrator, unfortunately, will not be able to celebrate Lamastide. This brings us to the last stanza. Long for me, the rick will wait. Long for me, the rick will wait. What do you mean? What do you mean by rick? Rick is the haystack. Long for me, the rick will wait. The narrator is talking about the haystack. Now, here, Amina, there is personification. Here, there is personification. Why is this personification? Because we are giving human qualities to non humans, right? Personification. What do you mean by personification? Giving human qualities to a non-human. The rick, the haystack will wait, and long will wait. The fold. What do you mean by the fold? A fold is a pen. It's like a wooden cage, right? A pen for the livestock, right? A pen for cows and goats and bulls. And long for me, the rick will wait, and long will wait the fold, and long will stand the empty plate, and dinner will be cold. What does the empty plate symbolize? Prosperity or starvation? What do you guys think? Starvation, right, Sadinsa? Speaking of starvation, did you have time to have your dinner, Sadinsa? Not yet. Oh my God. So Sadinsa is such a champion. He got home and she jumped on the meeting. No dinner. At least lunch. Lunch kෑවද? බත් එකක් කෑවද Sadinsa? අද. Thank God. Okay. Thank Allah. Thank Lord Buddha. So Sadinsa is so dedicated that she didn't even have her dinner because of this seminar. Look at her dedication. Well, let's take this moment to appreciate not only her beauty, but also her dedication to literature. What does the empty plate symbolize? It symbolizes starvation. It symbolizes struggle. The mother has lost both of her sons, right? So how will the mother be able to feed herself? Long for me the rick will wait, and long will stand the fold. What is the rick? A rick is a haystack. A fold is a pen. It is a pen. It is a wooden cage for cows and bulls and goats, livestock. And long for me the rick will wait, and long will wait the fold, and long will stand the empty plate, and dinner will be cold. What does the empty plate symbolize? Tell your Javed, sir. The empty plate symbolizes that the mother will suffer, right? The empty plate symbolizes that the mother will suffer because she has lost both of her sons, right? The mother has lost both of her sons. Therefore, the mother will suffer, unfortunately. Give me a second. Let me add the image of a cow as well. Because why the hell not, right? What is another word for pen? Pen in this poem? It is called fold, right? Fold. Another word for pen is fold, right? Long for me, the rick will wait. What do you mean by rick? Rick is a haystack. And long for me, the rick will wait. And long will wait the fold. And long will stand the empty plate, and dinner will be cold. What does the cold dinner symbolize? Happiness or suffering? Definitely suffering, right? So, who is going to suffer? If you look at the last stanza carefully, who do you think will suffer the most? Hafsa, you have become Fulsa, Hafsa. Genius you are. Sadinsa, who is going to suffer? The cow? No, the mother, right? The mother is going to suffer. How is your mom, by the way? Mom doing good. Say hi to your ammi. Is your mom there?
Yeah.
Ask her to come and say hi, right? Ask her to come and say hi, sure. Right? Say hi, auntie. What do you call hi, auntie? Hi, Aki. Right? So the mother will not your mother. I hope your mother lives for 100 years, right? I hope she has 10 grandchildren and she lives happily. But this mother in farewell to barn and stack and tree is suffering. The mother in farewell to barn and stack and tree is suffering. She has lost both of her sons. How has she lost both of her sons? One son is Setta Pochi, the other son is Odi Pochi. The first son has been murdered. Maurice has been murdered. And the narrator who has murdered Maurice will abscond, right? One more time, one last time. Long for me the rick will wait, and long will wait the fold. And long will stand the empty plate, and dinner will be cold. What does the empty plate symbolize? It symbolizes that the mother will struggle financially. She has lost both of her breadwinners. Her sons, her young sons, she has lost because of conflict. What kind of a murder was this? It was a fratricide. And the narrator killed his brother, Maurice Hafsa, impulsively. Do they tell us why the narrator murdered his brother? No. That part is left out. That is why I told you that the narrative is suspenseful. The narrator bids farewell to barn and stack and tree. These three objects outline a farming landscape, a simple life. But the narrator has to say goodbye reluctantly to this simple life because of an impulsive decision. What was the impulsive decision? He had murdered his brother, Maurice. I have to reluctantly say goodbye to you guys and to Sadinsa because we have come to the ending of our session. If you guys want this PDF, please drop me, not Sadinsa, Dennang Sadinsa, I'll give you her number. Drop me a message. They're asking your number, Sadinsa, right? Because they want to learn English. Drop Javed sir a message 9639434. I will share this PDF with you. Remember, we have more notes. I only explained the outline of the poem, Ilma. There are more important notes in Farewell to Barn and Stack Country. Please drop me a WhatsApp message and I will share this PDF with you so you can study the notes from this presentation. We have a workbook, Nada. We have a brand new workbook. Drop me a WhatsApp message. 5 lucky winners. Look at this, Sadhins. How awesome this is. I have my own workbook, right? Don't I look handsome in this? Do I look handsome? Right. Lasana mama. Right. Please say yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you. It's a valuable notebook, workbook for free. We'll give 5 people. Nada has it. This one is the brand new one. This one has a proper binding also, Nada. This one is like properly has a proper binding. We have a vendor of sweets tutorial. If you want this, we can give you this also. Vendor of sweets printed tutorial. We have printed tutorials for to the evening stuff. Farewell to bar. No, the lumber room, the Lahore attack. We've got a lot of valuable printed tutorials. We can't send you all of them, but we can send you at least one. Drop your Javed WhatsApp message. I will see you guys in our next session. Next week, we are going to have another free seminar. It is going to be for Richard Corey by Edwin Arlington Robinson. Sadinsa will definitely be there. Until next time, take care and all the best. Good night, Sadinsa. Good night, everybody else. I will see you in our next session and take care.